Hey everybody, Seven here, and I'm here with a new game. Now I'm trying to start something on Fridays that I'm going to be calling Freebie Fridays. So it's going to feature, hopefully every Friday, a new and unique free game. Not some free-to-play MMO pay-to-win type of thing. A genuine, all-encompassed game that you can get off Steam for free. And I'm here with Helpless. Now, I'm going to be cutting out pretty much the entirety of the story because it has a very cute, very well-written story, and the game overall is extremely short. So I'm just going to jump right into this, do some of the gameplay, and just give a feel for like some of the mechanics and how the game actually operates. So this game is actually fully controller supportive. So you can do mouse and keyboard or controller with this, which I definitely support. It only has the two difficulty modes, which the game overall isn't that hard to begin with. So I played my first time on Survivor and I actually had a very fun experience with it. So like I said, I'm going to be cutting out pretty much all of the storyline scenes, but as I get into some of the gameplay, I'll give you just the bare bones basics of what the backstory is. Now, I cut off the initial cutscene just because I wanted to kind of get more right into the game. Now, the general gist of it is that the world has pretty much gone to hell. It doesn't really tell exactly what happened, whether it was some war or ionic storm or something like that, but overall, the sun just is oppressively hot. Direct exposure to sunlight will damage you. You are traveling through some sort of desert with your very sick mother. As you can see, she's got a little oxygen canister over there, and your Winnebago breaks down. So after some arguing with your mom, it's determined that you are going to go out into the world and venture for pieces parts that your mom can use to fix the Winnebago and get back on the way. It's kind of broken into days as opposed to chapters, and you'll find that you go out for a day, do some scrounging, try to salvage some parts, bring them back, and then the next story and the next level. It is perfectly linear. You find the piece, the objective that you're after, bring it back to your mother. She says that she might have some more parts that we can go get, and it opens the next level. It also expounds on the story that is going and gives you more exposition to what these two characters are going through and who they are. So the action parts are broken up in between with these moderate choice-based story interactions. So here we are in the actual gameplay itself. And one of the reasons that I wanted to start off the Freebie Fridays with this is because the mechanics and the gameplay style are just so innovative. It's not just the sun hurts you, it's your ducking and crouching and covering is what's going to be primarily your most important aspects. So you can see you start to turn red immediately when you get in, and the screen will fade to black the longer you're standing there, which, given the way that everything is graphically represented, it completely frees up the HUD, as you can see. So, no health bar, no inventory, no hot bar for tools or anything like that. It's just this little kid trying to go off and find parts to save his mom. Then all the while being mindful of where the shadows are, so you can continue to progress to get to the next level, to get to the items and the pieces parts that you need. So it's got some aspects of like a stealth cover-based action type of game, intermixed with some puzzling, but not really platforming because there is no jump button. So it has a very, very unique and innovative gameplay. And then along the way, you can find optional items like things like that, where you can bring back and progress the story a little bit better. Now, I know that the 3D cell shaded art style isn't going to be for everyone. Might feel a little on the Nintendo kiddie side, but just the way that it complements the story of how this is a little boy who's going through, going off on incredibly dangerous adventure that he has pretty much no business going on for the purpose of saving his mother, which, I think the art style actually complements the content of the game. And you can see like the wind is so high that it's actually affecting his walk speed and run speed. So there's a lot of extra environmental effects that go on throughout the game. Now, I just absolutely love the way that these creators destroyed the world. Seeing all of this, fully understandable, a playground, a park, a school bus, but seeing it in this desolate post-apocalyptic way, it's obviously been done a million times over, but the way that this specific game does it is very, very beautiful. And then you can find little knick-knack things like that to just bring back to the Winnebago. You can also see that the environment is highly interactable, which for the scope of a game like this, that is just, it's very impressive. Now, the game does have a totally fixed camera. It follows you, but it follows you at exactly the position that it wants to. So it can be a little jarring and lead to a few where do I go now moments. But honestly, that seems to be my only slight inconvenience that I've had while playing this game. Everything else about this game has been absolutely beautiful. And I really just cannot get over that music. So even though it is a linear based level design, it is good to still explore because there's not just storyline things you can find, but there's also some optionals that you can bring back to the Winnebago that will help open up more dialogue options and more interactions that can really get you more out of the game. I love this part. You can see the game does such a beautiful job of imposing several different environmental hazards, oftentimes simultaneously. So the sun's beating down on you while the wind is pushing you around, making your progress more difficult, and oftentimes causing you to have to use the sprint function in order to make it to the next step before you ultimately burn to death. So there's puzzle elements as well as not really platforming elements, but just elements that make it a trick to get through. Oh, that one's far. Oh, that one's really far. I think the wind's getting worse. I'm going to cut out the dialogue just so that there's no storyline spoilers, but I will show a little bit about the Winnebago because that's kind of like your home base and how things progress between day to day. This is your main hub. It's sort of like an in-between of what's going on between the days. Now, as you collect more and more side optional items throughout, you'll be able to sort of hover over them and just get like little exposition type things on what's going on with them. And some of them you can actually interact with and will allow you to further progress the story as well. So while you're outside of the Winnebago, you can interact with your mother a little bit, but she generally doesn't say too much more than what she already has. When you interact with her, you can ask her questions about some of the items that you've come across, though. So there's fun little interactions that you can have as you find these optional side quests that just give just a little bit more flavor and a little more depth. And then when you're ready to go, map and your target is a general store. And I think I'm going to end this here. Just wanted to get that first day, just show some of the mechanics, the ducking, the hiding, and just the overall feel for how this is going to work. Like I said, the game is incredibly short. I think my first blind playthrough that I went for it, I went through the entire game on the harder difficulty in about 4 hours, I think, maybe five. For an absolutely free game, it is beautifully written. The music is fantastic. Even though I'm not generally a fan of the, cartoonish, cel-shaded art style, I think that it fits the game and the overall narrative beautifully in this, and it really is just an overall fantastic game. Now you go over to the Steam page and you can see the game is beautifully well received as it should be because it is fantastic. And it's from a developer I've never even heard of called Bonjour Studio. Unfortunately, this studio does not have any additional games yet, but I am very, very much looking forward to seeing what else this company is capable of making because this game is positively gorgeous. And this was the first of my Freebie Fridays. I just have a general love for video games, and I would like to use my channel to just show off as many video games to as many people as I possibly can, whether that be through tutorials for games that I already love and play, and helping people to get more out of the games that I enjoy, or showing off new games that they haven't tried already. Or just because things on Steam are expensive, maybe I can show off a few free games just to get people into it. And I know that the hardware is expensive and everything's expensive these days, but if I can get a few more people playing a few more games, then I'll be happy. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for my first Freebie Friday, and I hope to see you in the next one. This is Seven. Bye.